move to our next thing that we wanted to do. One other thing we wanted to do is I was hoping to get a little bit more character development for the people that are watching, so you can guys get really into the different characters that we have playing, because they've all been so good so far. And we're going to do, at the beginning of sessions, a little flashback or a campfire story session that kind of helps give people a little bit idea of the characters that are watching, and just some backstory to some of these people. So our first volunteer, or maybe not so much a volunteer, I might have just assigned it to her, but PB has decided to go the flashback route and has prepared a flashback. So as we watch the camera spin back away from this fight, we go into a flashback that's inside Ian Egris's head, and she will set the scene for us as we find out a little bit more about her character.
All right. So to set up just a little bit of lore, I guess. So the thing with elves is that when they're children, when they're small, they have a different name. So, and then when they become an adult, they choose their own name. So Iana Grace is the name she chose for herself, but her child name was different, along with her brother. So I'm not going to say Iana Grace in this one. Her name is different. So her name is Fane, and her brother's name is Rain. All right, because their parents thought it was cute. So I think that's all the background you need to know before I start this. So it was a cool fall day in Philin. The makeshift market was bustling, the birds were quiet, and the twins were sneaking out of the village. You would often find Rain and Fane outside the village, though never too far. In fact, they would make a game out of it. It was a game they began a few years back when they were 15-ish. They would dare each other to go slightly farther away from the village than the day before. Some days they would go half a step out, other days they'd go several feet before running back. They'd leave some sort of marker on the ground to make note of how far they'd gone the day before. Sometimes they'd leave a mark on the trees next to them, or others they'd stick a twig with a leaf impaled on it in the ground, sort of like today. The twins chased each other around, pouncing on each other, hitting each other, doing what children do. But once they became tired, they decided to sit down behind that last twig they left a couple of weeks ago. So Fane began to play with a rock that barely fit in her hand as they talked about their annoyance towards other elven children in the village who always refused to go out with them and play. When Rain snatched the rock out of Fane's grasp. "Hey, give that back!" Fane exclaimed. "Nuh-uh, it's mine now," Rain stated. "No way, I was holding it, see?" Fane said, pointing at her dirty hand with a faint imprint on her palm from where she'd been squeezing it absent-mindedly. Rain squinted hard. "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything," Rain smirked. Fane frowned, and before her brother could move back from where her hand was, she pushed her hand onto his face. "Hey, stop that! Get your hand off of me," Rain tried saying as he smacked at Fane's hand while Fane just smiled sweetly at her brother. "I'm giving you a closer look. I didn't know you were blind, brother. We need to tell Namon. Maybe Baranstone too can fix you." Rain shuddered. "No, no, no, I see it. Now get your hand off of me, Faye." Faye laughed freely as she removed her hand from his face and then promptly snatched the rock back from him. With a victorious look, she began to toss it between her hands as she still looked smugly, while Rain sulked next to her, trying to wipe his face, but really he was just smudging more dirt on his face. But then he got a mischievous look. "I bet I could throw it farther than you could," Rain started. Fame looked over at him indignantly. "Nuh-uh, I bet I could throw it twice as far as you could." "Oh yeah? Prove it. Throw it," Rain instigated. Fane launched the rock as far as her child arms could throw, which was only a couple of feet ahead of her, but she still turned around and looked at him smugly. But she was met with a smug look of her own. Her brother stood up and plucked the twig sitting right in front of them before walking over to the rock, sticking it right next to it and picking it up. He turned around and looked at her, smiling, and threw it back to her, or close to her, before sitting down with the same smug smile. Fane was fuming. She'd just lost the game. "Well, oh yeah? Well, I bet you can't throw it farther than I did," she said as she threw the rock as hard as she could back to her brother. Rain just took it and threw it in the same direction as Fane had, but it fell a few inches short of the marker. Now it was Fane's turn to look smug, and Rain to sit there fuming. I told you I was better, brother, Fane stated smugly. I bet you can't throw it as far again. You were lucky, Rain exclaimed. Fane picked up the rock and returned back to her brother, this time not sitting down before throwing it. This time it went a few inches further than before. That's cheating, Rain yelled at her when she moved the marker. I don't remember hearing that rule, Streakbro, Fane said before Rain stole the rock from her the moment she was within grasp. He threw it, and once again, it was only inches behind her throw. They went at it like this for a couple of hours. In the end, it became a game of throwing rocks at the same point, trying to hit the others out of the air. They were in deep concentration, trying to aim their rocks accordingly, when the leaves about 20 feet out started rattling. But our twins didn't hear a thing. Then the rustling leaves were 15 feet away when Rain caught a glimpse of it. Better luck next time, Fane started. Shh! I think there's something out there, he whispered with wide eyes. Fane's head immediately turned, where she also now heard the rustling leaves. Go, 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 Fane said quickly and quietly. You take that tree, I'll take this one. It'll be faster. They both darted towards the respective trees as the rustling came closer. Fane scrambled up the tree and onto the closest branch she could find that would hold her. It was about 10 feet from the ground. She was breathing hard from the adrenaline as she turned to look at her brother as she hugged the branch in temporary respite. Rain also scrambled up the tree. Unfortunately, the bark was too smooth and the branches too high that he kept sliding down the trunk as the rustling was now right behind the large tree they'd almost reached in their game. Fane looked at her brother desperately as he groped around looking for something to protect himself with. He managed to find a sizable branch to wield as the creature behind the rustling began to emerge from the shadows. Simultaneously, Rain made a cry and charged towards the figure, swinging his makeshift weapon wildly in front of him, eyes squeezed shut, while Fane, without thought, leaped from her branch and towards the figure. They reached the creature at the same time, Fane managing to cling onto the back of this creature, wrapping her arms around its neck, trying to swing herself and bring the creature to the ground, like she'd seen the hunters do with the wild boar before last year's festival. Rain connected with the creature's legs and lashed them repeatedly with his branch. The creature, though caught off guard by Fane's jumping on its back, managed to stay upright. The creature dipped down to his side and grabbed Fane, making her lose her balance and fall off of him. However, before she could hit the ground, the creature caught her under its arm and held her there. The creature then quickly straightened out and stretched his left arm, holding Rain away by the forehead. Gah! Put me down, you beast, Fane struggled. I'll get him, Faye, I'll kill it, Rain said as he fruitlessly pushed forward with all his might, swinging his weapon in front of him in hopes of once again connecting with something. No! Run, Ray, get out of here while you can, Fane said, squirming, trying to get out of the creature's grasp. Never! Together or not at all, Fane! Arrgh! Rain declared as he began running even harder into the creature's hand. The creature suddenly moved, letting go of Rain and sidestepping Rain's sudden loss of balance. Wah! Let go of me, you legume! Rain exclaimed as he was also scooped up under the creature's arm. You're going to be sorry. Yeah, put us down and fight us. You won't win. You'll regret ever messing with the Miliomni twins. The figure chuckled. Fane, your technique improves every day, and you, little Rain, grow stronger every moon. Let me down. Say that to my face. The twins said before the words really sunk in. They struggled for another second until they stilled and looked up at the figure in unison. Their eyes widened as they took in who it was. Nontu! They began to squirm again, but this time trying to get down and hug the figure. The figure placed them down and immediately had two elven children upon him. He picked them up as they hung onto his neck and spun them around in joy. The twins giggled uncontrollably. Now, my children, how do we say Nontu in common? The kids rolled their eyes, neither of them really caring for their language studies. After being placed back on the ground, they looked at their Nontu. Father, they said to varying degrees of success. Rain a little bit faster, and Rain just slightly slower. Good, my strong, intelligent children, always making their father proud. He smiled down at them, and the twins puffed their chests out a bit and had giant smiles on their face. Together, the three of them walked hand in hand back to the village, Fane bragging about her winning their game, and Rain complaining that their father interrupted the game before he could win. As they rounded the corner, they saw their mother waiting outside their home, anticipating their arrival. their father just walked up to his wife, giving her a quick kiss as the twins pretended to make gagging noises as he did so, and he wondered how he could have gotten this lucky in this life. End scene.
And we fade back out into battle. Hey, nice job. And that earned you your inspiration. So you have, at any point, you can use inspiration on one of your battle rolls or any skill checks, ability checks, things like that. So you have that. There's a place to mark it down on your sheet too, but most time it shouldn't be too hard to remember. And that will give you an advantage if you didn't know what inspiration does, or those that are watching don't know if you're new to D&D. In the 5th edition, inspiration allows you to get advantage on a roll. And that means you can take the highest of the 2 rolls that you'll see here in our game. So let's switch our players over to the actual battle back at Nightstone. And let's go ahead and switch our audience back over to where we are at. All right. So,
Dun, dun, dun.
we left. Yes. Definitely dumb. There should be some grand music. One of these times I'll get music in there. I'm still trying to find the right soundtracks and things that aren't stuff that I can stream without getting in trouble, I guess would be that. So one of these days we'll get a soundtrack in here. But for now, we finished up on the goblins' turns, which I have designated here as Pojo, but there's several of them out here. So are we ready? Is everybody there? We're only missing one, so I will continue to maneuver Aila. And again, remember that I'm mostly a robot at this point as I play any PCs to try to encourage them to be here to play their own characters. Armel, our Druid, is back, so he can do the healing, which will be nice. I don't have to run the Druid. That's awesome.
I hope you roll better than Lucien did.
Yeah, I do too.
All right.
Okay, so our first goblin here. So we have run south in the town. I've zoomed in so you can kind of see what's happening on the map. And it is the goblin's turn. And what we're going to have here is a little bit of a showdown, I think. So we're going to have some people. As you can see, what I'll do is I'll click on a couple of our players so that you can kind of see what they can see. So some of them can start to see a little bit about what's going on down here in the south. As I just flip through a couple of these. And so, but let's get into it. So Gwerk here is going to shout out to you guys that he can see that are coming south. He has vision on 4 of you at the moment. And he's yelling in Goblin also at the same time that he's starting his turn. You hear some Goblin words, and several Goblins step out, take a move action. Pojo continues to retreat as he has been hurt badly. And these goblins gather with short bows out. So they all make a move.
Snap.
Gwerk's going to stay there because that'll allow him to move after he does his action. They all then hold action, and Gwerk yells out, "Stays back! Come no closer, or the old Don gets it." And they're pointing their bows at our Drow elf when he says that. And then kind of looking and gesturing his bow over, and he yells, "You too, Aarokocra," and he spits on the ground as he's looking at Greybeard, who's stumping up to the fence. Actually, probably still at full charge, because I think he was meaning to charge through that fence, so he's probably in mid-stride. And he spits on the ground, and he says, "Gwerk wants no more scrum with ma bet." And they hold their bows, and they wait to see your reaction, or if you stop heading south. That puts us at Teagray. Or if you guys are going to respond verbally, we can respond verbally. Is the group going to stop? Because I guess is what I'm going to ask first.
I can barely make out Greybeard, and I kind of mutter to the side. I would advise we stay where we are.
Where are you, Colonel? Where did I last see Colonel Jarrel running?
Yeah, I'm kind of in a firing wall. I'm not in a good situation right now.
The dwarf
And you
says
can yell out, Jarl. I mean,
And I yell that. I'm not in a good situation.
I got you covered.
okay. But are you stopping moving, or are you going to continue forward?
I was just waiting for my turn.
Oh, okay. So let's go through the turns then. They're on a hold action, and they do have a trigger. So we'll see what happens here. Teagray, you are up. And Teagray is back up here.
I'm going to say, what'd you say? As I run up towards Greybeard.
I'm the deaf elf. Huh?
Who's saying that? Greybeard, what's happening?
Whole bunch of gobos. I'm gonna kill them all.
And then the Gwerk yells out, and you stand there too. And as he sees you come up to that rock.
Jarl rolls his eyes in resignation.
You did have another character you wanted to build, right?
Maybe.
I'll stop there.
All right. Hold action, bonus action. That was your movement then.
Yeah, I'm just going to hold to see what they do.
Okay. That brings us to Greybeard.
Rage.
Oh, good God. Okay, so you're going to rage in place?
How's that for a vote of group confidence, buddy?
It's great. Yeah, I'm cursing in Dwarvish, and what the heck? I'm all raged out. I'm gonna dash.
Okay, that's gonna trigger that's gonna trigger their hold. Their trigger was if anybody moved closer, they will continue to fight. So you're gonna make a step, but go ahead and make it right on the fence before you get there.
All right.
As if you're gonna go through the fence, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through the goblins here. And then we will let you go. So this is gonna be a lot of rolling. This is gonna be fun.
For you.
All right. Let's bring it up here. So here we go. These are short bows.
I have nothing but confidence in you.
I'll probably roll bad. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. And first attack, Gwerk is going to attack. And right now, Jarl was his target. So let's see what happens. That's a miss. Not sure why I rolled the damage there. So first miss, Longo over here. He's going to attack. Also at Jarl, their target. Look at those. See? No worries. 5 and a 6. This is going great.
This means you're due. That's all.
And Yek, his buddy, right next to here. So far what I've done is those three right there. And one more short bow at Jarl, and the rest are going to shoot at the charging dwarf.
Ah, good. I was gonna say we need an aggro mechanic.
Will a 16 hit?
16 will hit.
7 points of piercing damage from the arrow. That was like the best roll he could get, I think. A 5 and a 2. He could have got one more. All right, Jarl, an arrow slams into your shoulder, putting you down onto the ground unconscious. in front of that little farmhouse that you're in front of and begin to slowly bleed out. Flick and Blick, which are the two in this area, will shoot. I'm just going to roll, let's do it differently here. How can I go quicker? Slash roll 3d20. So 3 arrows shoot out. This is not being added up. So we have a 17, an 18, and a 4. Mr. Greybeard, what is your AC?
14.
So to me, that looks like 2 hits. So 2 slash roll 2d6 plus 2. It's gonna looks like it's gonna be 5 points of damage.
Each one of those is individually cut in half because of the rage.
Okay, so one was a 2 and one was a 1, so you get at least 1, and there's a +2 bonus to each one of those. So a 4 and a 3, but cut in half. So you'd say a 2 and a 1.
Yep.
Okay, so you're down 3. The other ones, that is the ones that had their bows ready. The other ones have swords, and that is their hold action. So you now can rage smash through the fence, and you're making a dash move.
Yep.
Okay. Now, can you attack after the dash move?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so let's do just a roll. Let's do a strength roll as you smash through the fences, and the only thing that's going to do is if you stumble as you smash through the fence, or if you just blow through it with no problem. So give me just a very simple strength check. All you got to beat is like a DC 8. Yeah, you got it. Okay, so no stumbling. You just smash through the fence, and you are face to face, nose to nose with your hated enemy, I assume, the goblins. Okay, so that was your movement. You probably bonus action, no reaction.
Nope, nothing I can think of.
Okay, so Greybeard is done. Armel, our
Can I use
druid.
my held action?
Oh yeah, what was your trigger?
Just if they attacked or fired, I was firing back.
Yep. Go ahead. We'll do that, and then Armel.
Can I see the leader?
The one that was talking was this guy right here that I'm going to ping.
Perfect. Okay, I'm firebolting that guy.
Okay. His armor class
I do not
is
believe
13.
a 10 is going to do it.
Nope. You got to get over a 13 with this guy. So a firebolt goes crackling past, singes some hair off 2 of these guys, and it slams into the palisade wall behind them over in this area. And doesn't quite catch it on fire, but makes a nice noise and sizzling noise as it sputters out. Jarrel. So that was your hold action. So, or Jarrel. Armel, you are up, and I know you're a little bit further to the north.
Did I see Jarrel go down?
You did. You were chasing after Jarrel in our last session, so you were following him, and you do know he's right in here.
Okay. But I didn't. Did I see him go down? Is what I'm asking.
No, you saw arrows fired. Maybe he kind of as he fell down, but you did not see it physically. You do see the dwarf now at that point, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you do see the dwarf has crashed into a set of goblins down there. It's so nice to get our first rage.
Can I move to there?
Yep, you get your movement. Normal movement would be 30 feet, and then you can still do your action, or you could dash for another 30 feet, and you have a bonus or reaction if your class affords you that.
All right. Are we playing this like chess, where I can't move my character back?
No, you can. Go ahead. Well, if you're going to move because you see what's down there,
No.
versus...
Let him see him get drop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Fairy Fire.
Oh, okay. And go ahead and put the text in the chat so we can all see it. Because it's just whoever you point at, it hits, right? Maybe just click on the name of the spell. It should pop up. So you get 60 feet. So let's see where you're at. So from 60 feet, let's use a little ruler here.
Yeah. How do you do the ruler?
Yep, you're gonna have to move. There's over on the left-hand side. It actually looks like a comb, but it's a ruler. When you switch to that, then you can kind of draw your own ruler. It looks like you'll need to get a little bit closer to fire that off, which you can still do. All right, so it's a concentration spell for up to a minute, which means it's going to last 10 rounds. Each round is 6 seconds. You get a 20-foot cube. So let's do this. Let me draw a cube. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I just wanted a shape. Okay, so
What I need is a second monitor.
yeah. So I think that's going to be a 20-foot cube.
Jarrel whispers from the grave that this would be a great spot.
So there, can I let you move that? Or no, I can try to move it. Where would you like me to move it?
Just want to get as many of them as I can in that box. Light them up.
You could get a pretty good grouping there, or you'd have to get this grouping over here, I think. So I think you could get this group.
No, that group's fine. I don't want to catch our dwarf in that mess.
Okay, so those guys are in the 20-foot cube. And what does it look like when you cast that? This is the first time we get to see the druidic magic of Armel, and he's casting this.
They all glow in a green light. Bright green in this daylight, but or not quite as bright, but still enough to help you pick them out, target them.
All right, so it looks like they're outlined in the light, but I do get a dexterity throw. Is that how I'm reading that? If it fails a dexterity throw. Okay, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dexterity throws.
What's the success?
Yeah, what is your spell DC on a druid? Be on your character sheet.
Yeah. 13.
All right, they get a +2 to dex as they are dexterous, so let's see what we get. Uh-oh, it says my connection to the server has been interrupted.
It means they automatically fail.
Yeah, yep. All right, did you guys see my roll?
No, and I see everybody else has dropped out too.
Oh,
Hey. Yep, I just dropped.
I'm still here.
crazy. Might have to
So
refresh
that's
it.
awesome.
All right, well, it looks like we've got definitely, and I've got what's the DC again, 13?
There's rolls.
Oh, a bunch of entangles. Whoa.
Oh, sorry. I was checking my other spell.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 make it. 1, 2, 3 don't. All right, so I will put we can get rid of the box now. We can delete that. And what we'll do is I'll just put auras on the ones that got hit.
So they have bonuses though, right?
Yeah.
So 11 like +2, right?
Actually, some of them do. Not all of them. Each one's there's a few that are different.
All right, thank God.
And that one. So you got half of them. So those ones with the green dots, anybody attacking them will have advantage. So an attack roll against this affected creature or object has advantage if the attacker can see it. So those ones you'll have advantage on. All right, everybody get back in. I can see Teagray type in.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I see everybody back in.
All right, so that was a move, a casted spell. Nicely done. Bonus action or reaction you don't have unless something happens to you. So bonus action?
Can I move on a bonus action?
Not unless your class specifically says that.
Then chill.
Okay. Yeah, so each class will typically have something they can do as their bonus action, and it might not be at first level, though. It might come up later on.
Well, I grow concerned about my dead companion on the ground.
That's a great bonus action.
Yeah.
All right.
Now that I can see him.
That brings us to Ian.
Which one was the one that yelled? Like the one that seemed like the leader?
That would be this one. He called himself Gwerk.
Work. All right, Work. I see you. Let's see. They're right here. They get a good line of sight. Me. If I run, okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will stand here and I'll make an attack on Work. Okay.
All right, let's see how those rolls are going to be tonight.
Probably awful because it's me. Yep. There you go. First one of the night. I got a nat 1.
That arrow hits Jarrel. No, I'm just kidding. All right. An arrow goes flying bolt. And what's amazing about that arrow is it hits the exact same spot on the back palisade as the flame from Teagray. So you guys can high five for hitting the palisade and almost killing the palisade. But unfortunately missing Gwerk, the leader of this goblin band. You still have a move at that point or any bonus actions?
I run down there, and that's my move.
Okay, nicely done. That brings us to Aila, our warrior fighter. She has heard battle has been joined. So she will use a dash move to get to the fight. And I believe her dash move is a 60. Oh, she can get right in there. Although she's done really good with her longbow in this fight. She's going to fly up and try to get in there with Greybeard. And so using her fly move, takes to the air, lands next to Greybeard as a dash
so fly.
move. Actually, that would give them an attack of opportunity. She's going to land here. Ready to join the fight on the next round here. She has no bonus actions. Jarl has, yes, a success. Makes his death save.
Sweet.
Good job. 2 to go, and you only have a few hours to wake up.
Awesome.
Goblinoid turn. All right. Gwerk yells in goblin again, and what they end up doing is let's start with the first one in front of our dwarf here is going to make an attack, and he's using his scimitar. For 12, for hitting a 12, will that hit your AC, Mr. Rager?
Nope.
Oh, okay, so a swing and a miss. And I'm going to turn something off on mine because these dice are annoying me. Oh, actually, maybe I just want automatically roll. That's probably what I want. Okay, I think I got it set now. All right, we're going to do another one. The guy to his left is also going to attack you. A 21 this time.
Hagurk.
For 7, 8, 9, but halved because you're raging, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, also, actually, let me finish what these other guys are going to do before I keep going. This guy will use a bonus action, which the goblins have, and they can do a disengage as a bonus action. So he's disengaging the fight, and he's also going to move his 30. And he will make a athletics check to jump over that fence to do that, to make sure he can move that far, which would just be a dex check, I believe.
Interesting point
No.
from chat.
He stumbles.
Thanks, chat. Appreciate it. A little late, but appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. What was the second roll on yours? The 16. Yeah, that would have hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and you can still roll the damage.
Oh, sweet.
That won't break any
Oh,
continuity here.
is that another one? No, it's a 2.
Close.
Consistent.
Getting all the bad rolls out early.
There's no such thing as getting them out.
All right, thanks, chat. We got that. Awesome job. Okay, and then that guy hit our Greybeard. He will also use his disengage, and he will attempt to use his 30 feet. Heading this way if he makes his jump over the fence. He does not. You guys are getting all the luck. This one still has his bow out. And will fire at the dwarf. Point. Wow, it's within 5 feet. That could be a problem. I think he's going to move first. He's going to try to move his 30 feet. Dex roll. Yeah, he makes it over the fence. He only needed a DC 8 to make it over the fence. And then fires an arrow at our raging, spitting dwarf. And horribly misses. Almost impales his own buddy. All right. The others dash to the south. As we go. So a bunch of these guys just start running. All right. That brings us to Teagray.
All right. I'm going through the door or the opening that Greybeard made.
Yeah, it's 2 smashed fences.
And are they still So the only two I see are the ones next to Greybeard. Are they fighting Greybeard right now, or are they running?
They have their backs to Greybeard at the moment. They're in a run, but they've just kind of tripped up over the fence trying to make a jump over it.
All right, firebolt at the closest one.
Okay. Oh, you need a 13 to hit these guys. You
Ah,
need just one more.
Punk.
You set the fence on fire a little bit that he just jumped over, and the fence slat gets in the way of you hitting him in the head. You moved and attacked. No bonus, right?
No bonus.
Okay. That brings us to the Raging Dwarf. Greybeard's up.
So now that I had pyrotechnics, a firebolt explode in front of me, I leap through the smoke and fire and try to kill the southern goblin there.
Okay, so you can jump over the fence instead of just crashing through it?
It's probably better if I crash through it.
Yeah, you want to do a strength check to make sure you don't stumble. No problem. You're just blowing fences up.
Awesome. All right, now I'm going to attack the one to the south.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep, with a resounding hit. 18 is good. Go ahead and give us some damage. All right. Tell me how you vaporize this goblin. That is definitely a kill. Go ahead and tell me how you vaporize him.
I burst through the fence. There's smoke and bits of burning fence go flying, and just out of and cleave him, like cut him from head to midsection in half. Pull the axe out, frothingly look at the other goblin next to me, like he's next. I don't say that, but I look at him like that.
Nicely done. All right. Any bonus actions due to barbarian skills or raging?
Double checking, and no.
Yeah, it might not be this, not till you're a little bit higher level, I think. All right. So that was your move and attack. And that leads us into Armel is up, our druid.
He wants to move.
I want him to move. Oh, if you're on the ruler part, you got to switch back to the pointer to grab your token again. Is it working?
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like it moves. You want to move to Jarrel? Oh, there you go. All right, you're standing next to an unconscious Jarl who has blood dripping out of a shoulder wound with a pretty crude-looking goblin arrow sticking out of it. And as I'm reading chat, it sounds like Greybeard has volunteered for next week's flashback.
Should have kept my mouth shut, or my fingers.
All right, Jarl, you again. This is the first time we get to see the druidic magic of Armel as he brings Jarl back to consciousness. What's this look like? What does healing from Armel look like?
Just lays his hands upon him and the wound seals.
Pretty dramatic.
We're in the middle of a death fight. Not the time for prose.
All right, Jarl, looks like you were given 4 points of health to add back to your hit points.
Oh, oh.
Any,
Thank you, friend.
any bonus action? Probably not yet.
Gonna pull out my sling and stones.
Sure, you can have that in hand. That will move us to Ian, hiding behind back here by the farm.
I am. Man, I don't have any hit points. So is this thing next to me a gate?
Yes, it's a gate that's open.
Alright, so I get in here. And, oh, snap. And let's see, I run, oh, snap. Okay, that was 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can get 7 in, but I'm only gonna get 6. So I want to push past Teagray and stand here and attack. Would I be able to attack this guy running away? Or not?
If you can see him, I would think so.
I can see him, yeah. Sweet. So I mean, I try.
What's the range on your bow?
Oh, dude, it's like, I don't know, 120, 150.
Yeah, plenty. Let's see those high rolls.
Huh. Oh, sweet.
There
You
you
should do
go.
that every time.
Hey, we even got it recorded, so no more complaining.
Nice.
Let's see some damage.
There's my 2.
Oh my god.
Another 2. And,
Death by 1,000 cuts.
So this arrow hits him, but it hits him in the arm. You can kind of see the arm, and it puts a big gash in his arm, but it also doesn't dig in. So he is wounded, but he's going to continue running.
Story of my life. And that's my move.
All right, that is our ranger's move. We are now to Aila. All right, she is going to charge through the fence right with our dwarf there. March right up to this guy and throw a swing at him. But let me bring her character sheet up because that'll make that all a lot easier. And I got so many pop-outs now. I'm so glad I have a couple monitors. I'm going to need like a 4th monitor.
Me too. It's funny.
So she looks like a hand axe would be her... Oh, she's mostly an archer, though. I keep forgetting that. She's going to swing with a hand axe, though. And does manage to hit this guy for 4 points of damage. Has no bonus action. And looks over at the frothing dwarf and gives him some type of bird call that he doesn't know what it means. Moving us to our nearly deceased but now up Jarrel. You are up.
So this guy here is running away.
Every guy you can see is running away.
Okay. Let's see. I have. Don't know what the range on my darts are. I'm afraid if I click it, it's gonna.
Let's look. I think are they in the compendium? I'll just do darts. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I guess they are, weren't they?
So let's see what a dart does. A dart is range
I think it's
20,
60.
but maximum range up to 60. So I think your normal range with no disadvantage is up to 20 feet. You can go up to 60 feet, but it's a disadvantage throw.
Yeah, I'm going to chuck one at this guy. Just give it all I got.
All right.
I'm not happy right now.
Let's see the 20. Let's get a crit.
All right.
Not bad, but not quite enough. As it hits the fence post, a dart sticks into it. The only good thing about that is you can still see it, so you'll be able to pick it up at some point.
All right.
If you survive, I guess.
I am going to. I'm going to move over here, and just peek around the corner. Can I do that? Just to see what's down there.
How much movement did you just use to get there?
Oh, actually, no. I moved too much. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right, so I'm going to move there. All right,
Okay.
so I can't peek out.
Okay. Brings us to our goblins. Goblins. Again, a mass exodus heading south. And they will use their disengage bonus action to disengage from the fight. And then run, so that allows them to run away without an attack of opportunity. And he will make it to there if he could make a dex roll. Oh yeah, nails it. He does a flip over the fence, lands on his feet, and continues running.
Cowards.
Another dex. Yep, makes it. And, oh yeah, that was only 30. Yeah, okay. And the other ones... dive off the bridge here. And begin floating down the river. I'll get them there. And probably there. All right. I believe that is their turn. They used a dash movement. Teagray is up.
All right. I get there. Let's see. Is Gwerk still visible? Gwerk.
Maybe. Maybe not. He's one of the ones further on the bridge there. Let me look where you are.
He's working it.
Nope, you do not have a shot on Gwerk. Neither one of those three are Gwerk. One of them does have the aura on it, though.
Since they're running, I'm going to dash again, so...
Okay.
That's just double movement, right? So
Yeah,
if I went 30, I can go another 30?
Yeah, if 30 is your movement, that's correct. Although some people probably have a 25. Some people might have a more.
Okay, so that's where I end after mine.
Okay. That brings us to our Raging Greybeard.
All right. All right. I'm gonna rush forward, grabbing a javelin, and as I go and get back here, scream and try to hit this last goblin in the line. I'll ping him.
13 is a hit. That's exactly what you needed. Yes, another death on the goblin side. Tell us how this javelin kills him.
He's like total panic. The goblin is fleeing the best he can, and he's about to yell to his friends, "The dwarf is coming!" But all he gets is the dwarf, and the spear comes through his mouth, and he tumbles to his death.
Yes.
Epic.
I'll go ahead and give you inspiration for that. So you have inspiration at some point that you can use on a roll for a great description, and you're doing good in the battles. Question: do you lose rage because you're no longer in melee with anybody?
I think it's if you don't get damage in a turn.
Yeah, you've got to miss a whole turn of it. So if I get back into the scrum, I'll be okay.
All right. So like even if you're standing next to somebody, if you miss with a swing, then you're going to be out of rage.
I think it's if he doesn't take damage.
Yeah, I'll actually crack the book here.
Okay, yeah, because I know there's something that triggers that, so just so we're sure. But yeah, we're all new. We'll keep going. We don't have to stop for that. That brings us to Armel. You are up.
My hero.
I'm just gonna follow the charge.
Do it. Going to use the full 60?
Yeah.
All right, that brings us to Ian, because that'll be all of your movement. Ian, you were up.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I get right here in front of Aila. I'm just like, excuse me, pardon me, and I shoot at the goblin I can see. So I shoot at this guy. Well, let's be honest. I tried to shoot at him.
Let's be honest.
And I miss, because that's my life.
But your flashback was great, so don't let that get you down.
Do you still have advantage from that?
She can spend it when she would like, but
I
Great
would
use right now.
no,
Great use.
I didn't say you would use it there. You didn't say you used it. You decide when you have to use it. All right, and nobody has bonuses actions because I think we're not quite high enough for those kinds of things. Moves us to our bird warrior. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50.
Can actually call her a bird without being rude.
I think that might be racist, man.
Yeah. Do we know what the racist terms are in D&D? I mean, just calling somebody an elf, is that bad? Are they the forest folk is the accepted term? And I don't know.
Pointy ear.
Stunty. I'm pretty sure that's got to be a bad word.
Greybeard is stub.
All right.
I'll
Used a
take it.
flying dash. She actually only moves 25, so she moved 50 feet. Interestingly enough.
She can't fly that far?
Says her speed is 25 feet.
Is that on ground or is that in the air?
Doesn't say on her character sheet.
Okay.
That's got to be ground.
Yeah, usually unfortunately character sheets don't let you put the flight speed.
Nope, she has it right here. Flight. You have a flying speed of 50 feet.
Okay.
No bonus action. We're up to Jarrel.
So he's not going to go very far. He's going to stay back, but 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, he's going to just kind of stay right. That was 30, right? I think so. 5, 10. No, that was 30. Yeah, he's just gonna sit there and watch. He's gonna yell. Is he seeing these guys jumping off the bridge into the water?
You probably wouldn't have seen that. You just see a group of them at the end of this bridge.
Oh, they're just kind of standing there?
Well, everybody's in mid-flight. I mean, they're all running at this point.
Okay, yeah, but so as I kind of round the corner here and I can see down that far, do I see them kind of jumping in like this guy down? Like, do I see them in the motion of doing that?
Not yet. Nope, they're not in the motion of jumping in.
Okay. So I'll yell to everybody. Be careful. Hold back if you can. We don't want to jump into another trap. And I'll hold.
Okay. What's your holding action?
Well, I'm not gonna hold. I have nothing to hold. I guess if anything comes up this way, then I'll throw a dart at it. But
okay.
Yeah.
Goblin turn, and yes, they begin to float down this river. All right, Teagray, you were up. They have vanished from your sightline, I assume.
Yep. So I'm going to continue running. And as I go past Gray, I'm going to say, ever heard the expression fish in a barrel, Gray?
Yeah, pickled herring. We'll eat some.
So that's as far as I can get on a full run.
Yep. All right, brings us to Greybeard.
All right. Well, I can't really see anything, so I guess I'm going to rush forward. Oh, and we did confirm that it is, unless I'm attacking someone or I'm taking damage, one whole turn has to go by.
Okay. So, like right about now?
No, because I attacked with that javelin.
Well, I mean, you're about to move.
Is it turn or round? Because the turn is 10 rounds, right?
I'm pretty sure it's a round. I can glance at it in a second.
Yeah, it's around.
All right.
So basically, if I don't attack this round or take damage this round, I will go out. I won't be enraged next round.
Okay.
And attacking fellow party members doesn't count, right?
Doesn't say anything about
No,
that.
it does count. It does count.
Chop your way angrily through that fence.
And it also looks like it only lasts for a minute.
Yeah, I've got a D10 on my desk here that I'm using.
Okay, cool.
Is this a wall breach over here, Dan?
No, that is the tower portion facing south. It's still standing, but a rock has smashed through the inner portion of the tower and destroyed that tower.
How high up is the bridge?
You could probably get a good. Oh, can you see the bottom of the map that shows the isometric portion of the map?
That's my move.
I'm gonna dash.
Got it, thanks.
I'm gonna dash. I won't be able to attack, and then I will be out of rage unless somebody hits me before my next turn.
Just punch him. Okay. So that's a dash. No bonus action. Armel is up. Chad is recommending you just punch yourself.
If I wasn't at half hit points, I would. I'd stab myself with a javelin.
Yeah, we might have to come up with some rules. Armel, you're moving. You're staying put. What's happening?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't see you move. You're all done?
Yep.
Ian, you're up.
So I just saw all these guys jump off the bridge. So, and yeah, there's nothing left. I just saw those guys. So I am gonna go to this goblin right next to me, and I'm gonna loot him. I'm gonna see what's on him.
Okay.
That's my action.
We'll say you did that. I have it written down, but we'll keep the combat moving, and we'll come back to what you get off him. We'll just say you get everything that's off him, and then I'll give you that in just a second. All right, and that one is, yeah, okay. Aila's up. She's not sure what's going on, so she's going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Sure. She can get right there, and using her longbow, which she's more known for. Oh, but I closed her character sheet. She will take a shot with her longbow.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure wrecks one.
Nice.
Yeah. She hits one of them. All right, that's her action. That brings us to Jarrel again.
Does this let's see. Is this like a I'm assuming that's like a windmill?
Yes, it is. If you're looking at it, I can go ahead and give you a description real quick.
Sure.
Basically, windmill stands atop about a 10-foot high grassy hill. There's a muddy path that leads up to it. The doorway is open on the northwest side. And that's all you see of note.
So if I was to, without elevation, a 60-foot dash would get me there. Would that end up being like a 50 or 45 foot because of the elevation change?
No, I don't. No, it would just be the squares of the 5 feet.
Okay.
It would take into account you're going up that. It's not a very steep slope.
Does it look like there's any windows or anything at the top of it?
Facing you, you see the windmill. You're not seeing any windows.
All right, so I'm going to. Am I allowed to do like so? If I decide to dash, can I like dash, 10 feet and then dash another 50 after I look around, or does it have to be continuous?
No, you could. Well, you can move, but if you move up 15 feet and then you happen to see an ogre, I'm not going to let you take back. Oh, I don't really move that 15 feet. I'm going to do something else.
Yeah, I understand. Just trying to see what else is around here. I'm going to 10, 15, 20, 20. I'm just going to dash up to beside Armel and hold my action for in case something comes our way. That's it.
All right. Goblin turn. Pojo. Although I think Pojo died, but we left him in the turn order. All right, you guys see this fast-moving water takes these guys.
That bowhead didn't kill one of those guys?
Which bow hit?
The critical?
Yeah, one died.
Oh, it died. Okay. I thought you said it just hit it. Okay. Sorry. I'm grasping at straws here. I want them all dead.
And you hear a shout from Goblin because Gwerk is still alive. And he yells, "You will pays for this!" You see them float down the river. It's a pretty fast-moving moat because it's actually in the middle of a river. And they disappear down the bend. Is anybody going to jump in the water?
Jarrel yells, "Let them go!"
Because if not, we're going to come out of turn order here.
I can get wet for these punks.
I grab Teagray and in his face, and then just stop and like kind of let go of him, almost pushing him off the bridge, and then stump down like in a sitting crisscross applesauce, and the exhaustion hits me.
All right. And remind us what the exhaustion does to you for a bit.
You would ask. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I would ask. Okay. Yeah, they disappear off down the water and fast flowing. We're out of turn order, so you guys can at this point now move mostly freely. You are down in the south part of the town at this point. These two buildings here are basically residence homes. You can see this one is smashed down here at the right. This is the bridge that leads up to the keep. We just described the windmill. There are towers. This one's an intact tower with the door open. This one's a smashed. This one's a smashed tower. Rocks are strewn everywhere. These are these big giant boulders that are just embedded into the ground. What would the party like to do now?
There's nothing on the goblin I searched that would suggest what they were doing here or where they came from, right?
Actually, yeah, so Jilk had on him, he picked up, he's got a sack, and inside that sack there are some bottles, there's some lamps, there's some ink jars, some spice jars, and some crockery.
Some crockery?
Yep. So you would assume they were stealing stuff out of the houses.
Bottles, jars. Bottles just like...
Yeah, glass, just vials, nothing in them.
Okay.
You can do a couple. We'll do 3. 1 lamp, maybe a couple of ink jars with ink in it. Some spice jars with some spice in it, maybe 3 or 4 of those, and crockery, stuff for cooking.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
I suggest we finish searching the town and try to figure out what happened to the people that were here. If all those tracks Ian found going north were from them, or if most of them are dead.
Agreed. Should we search the rest of the goblins to see if there's any clues?
Teagray, before you leave, and Greybeard, give me a perception check back when you were on that bridge.
Oh yeah, that's my high skill.
All right. Greybeard's exhausted, not really paying attention to much. Maybe thinking about doing some fishing, not quite sure. Aila was already turned around and heading back to meet up with the group. And Teagray, you were turning around out of the corner of your eye. You think you might have seen movement towards one of the crenellations of the keep, but you're not sure. Like when you turn back to really see, you don't see anything there, but you think you might have seen movement up on the crenellation of the keep.
All right, I'm going to act like I didn't see anything.
Okay.
And as I start saying, hey guys, let's get back together and start searching the rest of the town. Once we all get together mid-size here, then I'm going to fill everybody in that I thought I saw some movement on the keep.
Okay. Aila will follow you to there.
I'm going to help. I'm going to help Greybeard.
Oh, he can't even walk?
No, I it's under frenzy later on when I'm a berserker that I'll take exhaustion. Raging doesn't give you a level of exhaustion. I was ahead of myself.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so as the group gathers together, Ian, are you going to gather together with them, or are you doing something different?
I just want to pick up my arrows, the ones that didn't hit over here.
You can get half of them back. So half of whatever you fired, you can get back, and you can get your one dart back.
Okay, thank you.
I pull an arrow out of me and I say, you can have this one.
You could pick up some goblin arrows if you want. They're poor quality, but they would still work. Although you are an elf, though, right? I don't know if you'd like goblin arrows or not.
Does this goblin have any...
Yeah, all the goblin corpses had short bows and anywhere from 10 to 15 arrows, besides the ones that shot, and then they had scimitars. All right, this looks like the great place for our first break, and we'll come back and the group can decide what they're going to do. They just had a great battle and ran off the goblins who were sacking the abandoned town so far of Nightstone. So everybody stay tuned. We're going to come back in about 10 minutes. I'm going to move the stream over to... you guys can see our character sheets. I'll put that on for a minute or two for the audience to take a look at, and then I'll switch it to the break screen, and then we'll be back.